I'll click going back. You're live!
Okay. Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to the final review for Global Game Jam Linköping 2022. How this will work is that first we'll have a presentation. We go through this Google slide presentation. When your slide comes up, unmute yourself and tell something silly about your game. Once that is done, we will do playtesting. How that usually works on remote jams is that either we go through the games one by one and then start a screen share session and then fool around in them, jump to the next game, or yeah, but we'll do that. That's probably the best way. And then we do that until we're bored, basically. Cool. Now let's start with the first game.
That's me. Should I go?
Yes.
Hey guys, me and a couple of friends online have been working on this game called Twilight Wings, which we watched like Toho videos, the bullet hell kind of stuff, and we're really inspired to make like this game where you switch between day and night. So you're fighting against enemies who can shoot bullets that only affect, like the angels live in daytime, but their bullets are only effective against night creatures. So the owl is weak to light, and the eagle is weak to darkness. And so you have to press space or tap on the screen to flip to the other time, so to speak, to kind of dodge those rings of attack and such. And you have 3 lives, and it gets trickier as you move on, because it's going to shoot patterns in both the darkness and light at the same time. I was very pleased with this game. Had a really awesome artist from Paraguay, and another guy from Czech who made some music that you gotta listen to. Although there's a bug in the game that the audio might get super loud, so be careful if you're wearing headphones. Alright, thanks for me.
Cool. What is it made in?
It's made in Phaser JavaScript, so you can play it in the browser.
Looks incredibly good. And it was, I saw that the thing for it went up very, very early. So
yeah, we had a good start because we were all like pepped. So we made like the most of the work the first day, and then the second day we kind of focused on, the bullet patterns and graphic stuff.
Nice. Really cool work. Okay, any more questions? If not, let's move on. Oh god. Okay, so Dapverse. This Abomination is something that me and Micah mostly worked on. We started with the idea of a multiplayer game of catch, but then we ended up in a long discussion about, gameplay is overrated, and wouldn't it be more fun to create some sort of metaverse where you could connect multiple games together? We do, however, have fishing in the game, which is very important. We have NFTs in the game. Last jam, some of the participants were very sad that we didn't add NFTs, so we have NFTs in this game, non-fishable tokens. We also have sponsorship from all major game tech providers or game jam technology providers. So Spade and Sylt is providing some sponsorship in this game. There is a term of service. It has incredibly amount of lags. It also runs in the cloud. If we look here, yes. We have an entire infrastructure for this game. So we have the internet connected to a quite beefy router, connected via fiber, I believe, to a PoE switch connected to a whole cluster of Raspberry Pis. And those are the ones that actually host the servers for this game. And the hosting is done We use Docker to build a container. It's released through Helm, and Kubernetes is deploying this whole thing. So it's a proper cloud infrastructure behind this game. Is it all clear?
It's amazing.
How much of the cluster are you using the fact that it's running on a cluster as opposed to a single Raspberry Pi?
Not really, no.
I guess that if one of the pies would burn and explode, it would automatically move over to another pie.
Yes.
Yeah.
It wouldn't like live migrate it, but it would technically be off after like 30 seconds.
You're muted, by the way.
We heard you through your microphone.
All right. Okay. Okay. Nice. So we could start plugging out Raspberry Pis, and it will still work.
Nice. Redundancy.
Yes, redundancy for cloud metaverse. Okay. Any more questions? Then let's go to next one.
Okay. So this is also a more of a stupid can we do this technically project than a good game. It's clearly a revolutionary in multiplayer server architecture. Because in a normal game, you have a server that's doing all the computation. It's a computer. It's very slow. In a competitive multiplayer game, you obviously want the fastest game loop you can have. So I run the game on an FPGA, which gives me a 100 megahertz game loop, in theory, and in practice in this case. The game is very portable because it runs in WebAssembly. I have metaverse integration, so the stuff that happens in my game, in Catching Broccoli, also shows up in the metaverse. I have absolutely no gameplay, which is a very important feature. In the last hour, I added 3D graphics. And the whole thing is written in my... no, not the whole thing. The FPGA part is written in my programming language, Spade, which is sponsoring the metaverse, of course. Or the Dapverse, sorry. I need to use the correct terms here.
Yes.
And of course, this slide is outdated. It should say Dapverse at the bottom there.
Oh, sorry.
All right, you can move on. Yeah, so this is just a demonstration of the integration with Dapverse, where in the bottom left, we have my FPGA running the game code. That talks to a computer that then transmits the game both to the clients playing the game and also to the internet to go to the Dapverse and get integrated in the Raspberry Pi cluster. So you can enjoy the contents of the game in another game. Truly revolutionary.
This truly looks revolutionary because you have more nodes than the other slide.
Yeah, exactly. And I to be fair, that's a good thing for the Dapverse, because Dapverse, you can add even more nodes. Anyone else can integrate the game and get a node in here as well.
Oh, that's right. We just need to order more FPGAs.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Any more questions on this abomination?
Hopefully we'll have some more serious games.
Yes. Let's go to the next slide then.
Yes, this is Rabbit Rampage, which is actually a completed game of sorts. So you're playing as the local village bunny to this village that is attacked by soldiers every night. But you can defend against these soldiers, because nighttime you turn into a monster rabbit. A very dark monster rabbit that can stab them with carrots that you collect from your fellow villagers. But it turns out that even a monster rabbit is too weak against a never-ending wave of soldiers, so you have to grow strong. And to grow strong, you need to sacrifice some of your villagers to eat their human flesh, which is how all rabbits go strong, of course. So you need to balance this, because you still need carrots for your attacks, so you can't kill them all. And the more you have killed, the fewer effective lives you have. Because when all your villagers are dead, the game is over. How many nights can you last?
Wonderful. What is it made in?
It's made in Godot.
I made the in the left upper corner. That I made that picture.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Sorry.
Okay, should we go to next slide? Yes, let's
Was there
go.
a question? Or did someone just say something? I guess not.
Okay.
I just said sorry for making unnecessary noise. No questions.
Okay.
Okay, inverse. And there seems to be no audio coming from you, Mango. If you're trying to say something.
Maybe we should try it if we can't hear either.
We can do like this. Mango, try to troubleshoot your audio, and we move to another game and then come back to you. Okay, Minnesota Bones. Is this slide complete, or should I start reloading it?
You should probably reload it.
Yes, let's do that. Yes, here we have a lot of new things. Slideshow. Okay, Minnesota Bones. Do we have anyone from the Minnesota Bone group here?
I think Discord says Istercon is trying to speak, but I don't think we hear anything.
No, exactly. That is strange. Okay, let's do the same thing. Move on to the next person, and then we move back to them.
Yeah, this is my game. It's called, I don't even know how to pronounce it. I just wrote something I thought sounded cool. So yeah, it's a simple puzzle game where you can move the shapes, and the shapes affects the shapes that they move over in different ways. And the goal of the game is just to unify the board, so the board has all the same color and all the same shapes. I made it in Lua, and I made it in about 5 hours with some help from Gustav. Yeah, there's some music, there's some movement, and it's available for Windows and Linux. Yeah.
Cool. Any questions?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay, let's. If there are no more questions for Mutatio, then let's jump back to Minnesota Bones.
Nice. Yeah. Sorry about the audio. You play in our game as Minnesota Bones, who's been laying his crypt for eons while his slaves mine away. And then someone corpse snapped him, and now he's trying to get back to get his treasure. And it's a puzzle platformer, and so you're supposed to sort of solve the puzzles in a certain way so you can get back after you've reached your crypt and gotten your treasure back. And so the entire game sort of, you could go through it really easily, but then you can't get back. So sort of puzzle platformers, but it is very difficult. And this could be because it's a bad game or bad game design, but we're just gonna say that it's supposed to be very difficult, and so it's not bad game design. It's just a challenge. Yeah, we had a lot of fun making the music and assets and learning Godot. Generally a good time. Yeah.
Played a 3-string guitar, so that was fun.
Yep.
Nice. So it's basically the Dark Souls of platformers or puzzling.
Exactly.
Nice.
If anyone beats it, please let us know.
Oh.
Have you beaten it?
Great.
Almost, sort of.
Going by it's not a terrible game design, it's just made to be difficult. Does it cost a quarter every time you want to restart?
You know, we should have added microtransactions now you say it. That would have been probably a great improvement.
Nice. Let's move on then to inverse again. Okay. Mango, is your microphone working? Let's move on to Otello.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yes.
Sorry. Yeah, so Inverse is a platformer made in Unity where you push a switch and it changes the colours from your game and also changes certain elements. I was planning on it being quite long, but I only had time to make a level. But it has a speedrun timer at the end, and you can see my personal best is 1 minute and 11 seconds. And that's all, really.
Nice. So we all should try to beat 1 minute and 11 seconds.
If you want to, of course.
Okay, nice. Any more questions regarding this game?
How many people can we send trying to beat your record before we DDoS the server?
Assuming there is a server.
Assuming there is a server.
Okay, let's move on to Otello.
The main point of this jam, the high point we've all been waiting for. The definitive Otello experience is finally brought to, I don't know, your computer or something, using the fantastic Silt language with features such as music, flippable tiles, and Otello written on the screen. Eric and I made this in, I think we put like 5 hours into it, very sporadically, because ain't nobody got time for jams. And it's great. We have an AI that somehow works. See if you can beat that one. Yeah. Any questions?
I'm curious because I was there with you late night yesterday when you were starting to think about the AI. What method did you end up using?
So you know.
Oh dear.
The first draft was take the first move we find and use that move, which worked decently. Now we take the first move we find that flip like some tiles, but that's not true because that's not how the code works. Apparently, I don't even know what AI is by this point. So
it is beyond human comprehension.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you lost to the AI yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a decent AI.
Wonderful.
Somehow. Don't at me.
I have a question. How is the Dapverse integration coming along? Because obviously you have sponsorship in Dapverse.
Yeah, the Dapverse integration was great. If you set a high score, it's shown in the Dapverse.
I had no idea we did that.
That's a weird sponsorship mechanic where you have to implement stuff in the thing you're sponsoring.
But there are no high scores in Otello, so there's nothing. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Do you send any data to the Dapverse at all?
No. It's a new versatile non-server architecture.
It's very eco-friendly.
Exactly.
Leaves a very small footprint.
Cool.
It's very scalable as well.
Mm.
Do we have any more questions to the Otello gang? My only question is, how do you pronounce it?
I don't know at this point.
Look up
Otello, yeah.
Otello.
Just look up someone playing to play, and you'll know how to pronounce it. That's my best clue for you.
Okay. Let's see here. That was all. If we haven't gotten any more things on the slideshow, and it seems that we don't have that. Cool. Anyone else has something that they want to quickly showcase? Otherwise, we're going to move on to game testing. I assume that means it's time to test some games.